Previously on the chiseling of the Unchiseled Adonis, we seen our blubbery friend step onto the scale for the first time since he began his training regimen, down 17 pounds from 407 to 390, dropping the most amount of weight he's ever dropped in such a small period of time. Finally seeing the fruits of his labor and building the consistency necessary to continue on, can the Unchiseled Adonis become chiseled? Find out on today's episode of the Chiseling of the... But wait, it's been far too long. It's time for a moment of transparency and an update. What's happened to the Unchiseled Adonis? He's fat!
Alright, so boom. As you guys already know, we have reached episode 10 of the Chiseling of the Unchiseled Adonis. I am the host, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. But of course, you already knew that. And this here is the Unchiseled Adonis. And I know what you're thinking. Well, where are the results? What transpired? Why does he look larger now than he did before? And that's exactly why I decided we're going to do a sit down here so we can give a little bit of an update on what transpired in the now 18 months again from when we had started. Because if you guys remember, when we had came back, it was 18 months from the last time that we had taped. So now it's a fast forward an additional 18 months, and I wanted to make sure that I have the Unchiseled Adonis here so you can hear it from him. So I wanted to ask you to update the people what transpired over the course of the past 18 months. Because of where we last left off, you were down 17 pounds. You had started at 407 at the beginning of March 2021. And then we had gotten down to 390. And then what transpired after that?
Okay, let's see. I joined the boot camp. Started to do workouts at the boot camp. Thought I was doing all right. Doing a specific workout. I ended up tearing my meniscus in my right knee. I tore my partial tear in my medial meniscus in my right knee. This one, and then it took them about a month and a half to diagnose me because of COVID protocols that were at a high. So it took a minute for me to get a referral to actually go get an MRI. So I was walking around with a limp the entire time. So because of that pain, and as well as during the March of 2021, if you see in the last video, I actually cut my leg. So I had a chronic leg ulcer at the same time that I tore my meniscus. So I was in a lot of pain every day. I ended up having to get another referral to go to wound care as well because they couldn't stitch the ulcer closed. So I ended up going through wound debridement for the next 18 months. The wound actually fully closed to an extent as of this month of December, and they took away I was doing topical oxygen therapy, wound debridement every Tuesday. At the same time, I was also going to physical therapy for my right knee. I was walking around with a cane for 9 months, and the surgeon for the knee was saying that because of the complexity of the tear, because there's multiple partial tears, he felt that physical therapy was the best option and not surgery. So I was doing that for a while up until when I was able to stop walking with the cane in July of this year. And at the same time I had stopped walking with the cane, I still have discomfort in my knee. I am not 100% with my knee is not fully healed. The wound and the ulcer is not fully healed either. As of this morning, it actually started to drain. So I'm not sure if it's partially reopened or not, but it is draining liquid, which is why I have my foot wrapped. I guess I can stand up and show
see it after. I'll put.
No, I'll show it. Ain't a thing.
I'll put B-roll footage after.
So yeah, it's wrapped again. Okay. And yeah, that's what it is. Am I 100% to go back to doing the workouts and everything? I felt like I wasn't, and my body was showing that it wasn't ready to go back to doing what it needed to do, and that's what it is.
Now, I'll ask you this, right? Because since when it had transpired, and I believe it was late March, that you had gotten the cut, and then you had stopped in mid-April from doing the circuit that we had here, mid-April of last year in 2021. Now, I'll ask you this much, because not only myself, but also a mutual friend of ours had gotten you that rec center membership that would be free for the entirety of this year in 2022. There were different sort of, granted, your lower body, your lower extremities, you couldn't necessarily utilize that because you have a torn meniscus, and then you also had the situation with your other leg. However, your upper body wasn't in a situation where you could not have a routine that was done there. So I wanted to know what your mental state was over the course of the 18 months as it pertained to the totality of anything exercise.
Mentally, I wasn't thinking about exercise. I was trying to, because I was in a lot of physical pain, I wasn't mentally thinking about exercise at all. It was a lot to travel with my weight and having a torn meniscus, so walking around was very difficult. Taking public transportation was difficult. Walking up and down stairs was difficult because of how much pain was going into my knee. And at the same time, with an open wound, you're gonna feel pain regardless, and it's like it was not a pain that I was accustomed to. In terms of traveling to this rec center, which is on the other side of Brooklyn, taking public transportation to go there would be a sacrifice, which I understand, but physically I felt like my body wasn't able to do that. That's why I didn't go.
Okay, fair enough. Now, as it pertains to downstairs here, I had given you a solution. Because if, let's just say, you take out your lower body of being able to just stand here and throw punches, we were going to elevate up to combinations and different sort of things. I was going to go and grab those pads so that you'd be able to do everything there. But then ultimately, because of what happened to your lower body, I said, all right, what we'll do is we'll do the same sort of situation, but a little bit of a tweak. And you recall, I had told you this all of last year, even during this year, where we would take a chair similar to this chair that we're sitting on now, or any particular chair, have you sit here, and all you would do is just do this, move your upper body, get a little bit of movement, something there with a little bit of exercise. Now granted, you weren't in the mental state to where exercise was on the front portion of your mind, right? Now fast forward to where the wound has closed as of this month in December 2022. The knee, granted, you still got pain in the knee. So you would say, what would you say is the number one leading factor as to what's creating the opposition to you being able to take the fitness journey seriously?
It's me. I have a lot of stuff mentally that's going on, and that's what it is. I have a lot of issues that I have to address. So I am in a phase where I felt like I was mentally drifting. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So, and being around my environment and everything like that, I had to change some stuff up. So it took a minute for me to be able to do that. I brought a vision board in January of this year. It didn't go up on the wall until December of this year, and that's because you put it up after I'd asked if you could help me do that. And then it's like, I'm not in a right space right now to be like, oh, I'm 100% positive. I'm thinking about my body and everything right now. I have a lot of demons that I got to deal with. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy to I don't have a lot of people to just be like, all right, I'm just going to talk to you and tell you like what my problems and issues are mentally, spiritually, physically, and everything like that. I got a lot of trust issues. I got burned a lot. I went through a phase last year where people that I was cool with, I'm no longer cool with. So because of something that I felt like morals and principles got thrown out the window, and that mentally drained me. So it's like, now, am I saying that, oh, because of all these other factors, I'm not supposed to put myself first? I never put myself first, and that's where I constantly always got burned. I'm learning to now self-sacrifice, like to stop self-sacrificing and putting myself first and to care for me. And I have a lot of unlearning to do. I have a lot of learning to do. And the biggest opposition for me taking this physical journey on, it's me. I know it's looking in the mirror, it's me. Am I happy the way I am? I'm not. subconsciously it's like, all right, what are you going to do about it? And then it's like, I can say I'm going to do the work. I could always take the first step. That was never an issue. It's the third step. After starting and then being consistent, to commit to the commitment of consistency, right? So if I can't, that's the issue that I have right now, where it's just being consistent. I can remain committed to certain things, but then it's just being consistent in keeping that commitment. Like, I started growing my hair. That was supposed to be my first sign of being committed to something. This is 3 years old, my hair. And I was able to be committed to that. I spent a lot of money to maintain like my hair and everything like that. And it's supposed to be a journey where it's like, all right, if I'm able to be committed to this, I should be able to be committed to other stuff. And the biggest block is me. Physically, I know that I'm gonna have to put my body through pain in order for me to get the results I want. And I understand that. I've already done that before when I was younger. It's just now a lot of different factors are different. My knees actually hurt a lot more. My body's older, so it's going to be a lot more strenuous on my, like, on to the type of feeling that I'm going to have. And I just have to unblock myself. So it's me.
Okay. And then with you recognizing, all right, it's you, what are some things that you believe could be in the way? Could it be work with, if you take a look at the time? Because if you're sleeping an average of how many hours would you say per day?
5.
About like 5?
5-6 hours the most.
Okay, so 5-6, right? So you subtract the 5-6, 6 at the most. We'll go with the most. Subtract the 6 from the 24 out of the day. You're now left with 18 hours. How much of those hours are allocated towards work?
About 11 to 12.
About 11 to 12. If you were somehow able to cut down that time to, let's just say 6, would you be able to allocate that remaining time towards putting towards yourself? Because do you feel as if there's a level of burnout? Because when you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you come back from work, the time it would take for you to decompress from work to now go and give that time to your body, do you ever feel as if you're drained?
I am burned out.
You're burned out. So
That's
if you
why I haven't attempted anything.
Fair enough. So if you're in a situation, let's just say we eliminated work. You didn't work. And you just took the entire year off. You didn't go to work. You were just committed to yourself. You think that would showcase an improvement? Because if you're battling demons, you need to find a place to where you can have an open mind and you could be at peace, right? Do you feel as if the job kind of creates more issues for you to where, for one, are you doing a job that you really love?
Not really. It's not my passion.
It's not your passion.
I'm not gonna say it's my passion. Like, I know
it's just something to pay the bills.
It's not even. Yeah, it's something to pay the bills. I went into the job that I'm at now. The reason why I started working these jobs now, like the last couple of years, is because when I was trying to get certain positions in terms of work, they were saying, "Oh, I needed experience in this, experience in that." I work an office job, so I needed to get experience in office jobs because I worked at the airport at first. Now, my passion is music. I am an audio engineer by trade. That's what I like to do. That's what I love to do. I'm doing that now at a church, at Purpose Life Church, and I'm now in a space where my talent is being reciprocated to. People are actually taking notice of me. I'm being appreciated. They're showing love and saying like, yo, you actually do have a talent in this. And I always look for that. Like, I felt like people always said they believed in it, but then they never really showed it. They never really showed me like, oh, they really do believe in it. Here they actually do. So that's where my passion, I'm planning to actually take that to a real life thing and make it a life's work. My job now, it's okay. It pays the bills. And at the end of the day, like, it's still experience too, because I also like the stuff that goes on at my job too, like dealing with legal stuff and whatnot. Now, if I was to eliminate a job for a whole year and have to take care of myself, I would have to. If I'm willing to sacrifice, like, not even sacrifice natural, well, it is that. To sacrifice income, active income, and I'm not going outside to actually take the train, take the bus to go to work, and I am now home, I have to be here and do it full throttle and take care of myself at that point. There's nothing else to do. I have to be able to be active. I have to be able to find a piece to activate my mind again and my creativity. And I felt like being creatively burned out in a sense also caused me to just be like, physically, I don't feel like doing anything today. So going to work is like an escape where I can actually use my mind in the sense to help push certain like documents and stuff out. But now if I'm home and I'm not working and I have 24 hours in the day, I'm only sleeping 6 hours. The rest of the time I'm gonna have to put towards myself.
And then not only towards yourself, you would also have time to put towards your passion.
Yeah.
Which is in music. On top of that, with you sleeping the 6 hours, that now can increase up to the average between 7 and 8.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the reason why I wanted to, and I don't want to take too much of your time and also the people's time as well, but the reason why I wanted to take this sit down here is just simple perspective, right? Because, and I talked about this on a couple of my streams where I've been transparent with the people. I have a core 4, right? There's the unknown Adonis, that being Dave. There's yourself, the unchiseled, the patriarchal seed-providing Adonis, that being Dad, and the matriarchal birth-giving Adonis, that being Mom. Our father retired yesterday, right? 65 years of age. My mother is 68. You are 32. And the unknown Adonis is 28, turning 29 next month. He's battling kidney failure and things of that nature, going on dialysis 3 times per week. I go with him to the doctor following the dialysis 3 times out of the week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, religiously for the past 3 months, and so on and so forth into the future. My father being 65 up there in age, now retired. My mother being 68 up there in age, being retired. Our grandmother passed at, what was 85 years old she was? Mm-hmm. She was 85 years old. My father's parents had passed. My grandfather was 62. My grandmother, who I had never met, her and my grandfather, my parents' parents, I believe she had passed at about like 68, around that age.
You mean Dad's parents?
Yeah, Dad's parents. Yeah, our mother's mother passed at 85. Her father died. What was he, about like 60 something, right? Our aunt passed 4 years ago. She was 69. Realistically, if we're lucky, we would have 15 years with our parents, right? Mm-hmm. With unknown Adonis dealing with the kidney failure, things of that nature. Now, granted, we could all be optimistic, but it's a uphill climb to have to expect that longevity in life. I'm not going to be pessimistic about it, but you got to be realistic, right? And then also with you dealing with the weight, and now your physical body is starting to break down. So for me personally, and I say this not in a level of conceit or narcissism, my core 4 from when I was born in diapers, time is ticking. I got, if you continue to live your life the same way that you live it, if ultimately, the health were to fail with unknown Adonis and life runs its course with our parents, if I'm lucky, I got 15 years. And I've always told you, I don't want anybody to accelerate the process. Life's already tough. Don't make it more difficult. So essentially, the reason why I've been so passionate about this project here with you is because not only is it just a matter of, you personally, or maybe even trying to inspire others, there's a type of life that you've always wanted to live, and you're not going to be able to achieve it if you now have the roadblock of your body failing in front of you. Because if you were to go, let's just say a year and a half from now, would you be able to sit back and say, man, you were satisfied with the way that your life had turned out? Granted, there's ways in which people wouldn't necessarily have, regrets or things of that nature, because ultimately it's the impact that you had on different people. I've told numerous different individuals the type of person that you are. You're just like that is, to where you have a very big heart, no pun intended. You have a very big heart. You're incredibly caring. You're always giving. You've always put others first. However, as I told you time and time again, there comes a point in everybody's life to where you got to put yourself first. You got to look at what needs to happen for me to make sure I'm good. Because in life, you got 2 hands. One to help somebody else and one to help yourself. You've always given 2 hands to somebody else. And you've neglected yourself for far too long, right? So, with that being said, I have an offer for you, right? So, because you have the passion in music, but you can't necessarily allocate your time towards that because you're burnt out because of the job. You're not getting as much sleep as you need to get because of the regular burnout, or possibly when you get back, maybe your body could tell you that you're tired, but you don't fall asleep. And then on top of that, with the physical amount of time that you're spending out as it pertains to transportation, being at work physically, you can't give that time towards your fitness. I'll cover your salary for next year. You leave your job, you resign from your job, you now take all of your time and you put that towards yourself. Rather than you having to get up and give time to other people, you give that time to yourself. So now, rather than whatever the amount of salary is, I'll take I don't care if I don't got to get paid for the year. I'll cover your whole salary. You don't got to go to no work. I cover you. You essentially work for me. Your only job is you put yourself first. Because that way you can get as much sleep. You would have enough time to where you can put your actual funds towards your passion. You don't lose time with transportation and also the temptations of having to go and buy food when you're outside, or whatever the case may be. The hours would be more allocated towards yourself. Although you can lose the camaraderie of co-workers or things of that nature, you have a greater mission in making sure that you yourself are in the right space. Battling demons, having to find a place to, where you can find a bit of stillness, you can find peace. You don't now have to worry about the clutter of the world. The pressures of the outside sources now seeping in. If I put you in a situation to where you don't got to go out there and deal with that. And you've talked about earlier about you being with a number of people. You were running with some people who had done you dirty, did you wrong. You needed to change your circle. Now, you don't necessarily have to, I would say you harp in on those who've always had your back. Because I've told you time and time again, if there's one person who had your back from the beginning, it's me. And one way or another, I'm going to find a way to have your back. So I was thinking about this for some time. I said, how can I find an avenue to where we can make this work? So even if I gotta give up what I got, which is barely anything, my situation, student loans. If I go and I hold on to nothing, I ain't got nothing in my pocket, everything comes from my hand to your hand, would that be something that could actually help you advance and, attack or attack back at what's been holding you back from getting to where you gotta go?
Why would you do that, son?
Why would I do that?
Wow.
We're not only brothers bonded by blood. I'm a dutiful man. I'm my father's son. You got to look out for your people. You are father's son. And if there's one thing that's not fixing to go down is I'm not going to have mom and dad both retired and they got to look and bury a son. I'm not burying a brother.
Yo, what the hell, son? Boy. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say.
You don't know what to say?
I don't know what to say. I'm having so many thoughts right now.
Stop giving up.
So you want me to quit my job and you're gonna hold me down for a year?
Yep.
For me to focus on myself.
So you to focus on yourself.
Yes, you can! Just do it!
You would do that for me?
Yep. Not even a hesitation.
I am my brother's keeper.
Yep. So what do you say? All in or all out?
What are you waiting for? Do it!
I'll be all in.
You all in?
I'll be all in.
All Let's get it. 2023. We're going to commit to the commitment of consistency. We're not going to let no distractions get in between us. We're going to stay on top of the 8 ball. Not going to be no quitting. We're going to stay accountable. We're going to set goals. And achieve those goals. We're going to exceed expectations and deliver in all aspects of life. Not only dealing with the weight, we're talking about with happiness, joy, anything that you say that you want to have done, you want to get finished. You're going to get all of those finished. And if you need somebody in your corner, somebody to lean on, you lean on me. Because I got your back. All right?
This is amazing.
Go ahead. Read it. You can't stand up because the camera's low. Read it. You good. You good.
What the fuck? Yo, this don't make sense. This don't make sense.
It's all right.
Yo, it's supposed to be.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. So the chiseling of the Unchiseled Adonis, we're going to be back next year, better than ever. No worries, man. It's all right. I got you.
It's supposed to be.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's not supposed to be you.
It's all right. It's all right. We're going to be back next year, better than ever. Stay tuned. And we're going to crush everything.
Yo, this don't make sense. It's supposed to be me. I'm supposed to be doing this for you.
Man,
This don't make sense.
man.
You don't turn your back on family.
I'm supposed to be the one looking out for you.
Listen. It's what brothers are for. It's not a matter of somebody having to be the first one to get something done or things of that nature. It's not that. It's one of us got the other one got the other. That's all it is. That's all it is. So we're gonna start the year out the right way. I'll cover all the expenses, health insurance, things of that nature. I'll get everything taken care of. And then moving forward 2023, you can focus on you.
You mean to tell me you watched the entire video but you haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button and become a member on Patreon or on YouTube to get access to the Discord. We're waiting for you in the Shadow Realm.
Do it! Just do it! Make your dreams come true!
Please! Please!
What are you waiting for, huh? Oh my god.